welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. The grass around the farm is getting really long, an indicator that we are now in high summer, and it poses a few challenges. It means we really can't go for a walk anywhere that isn't a path that we've already created by cutting through the grass or by having worn it down over time without potentially encountering snakes or other creatures, which you kind of want to steer clear of for sure. But it's also giving foxes a chance to hide closer to the house as well. We had the chickens free ranging just the other day, and it was about 5:30 in the afternoon, and a fox came right up close to the house and we think took a chicken. There was a lot of noise and there was a lot of feathers and all the other chooks went crazy. We did see the fox run away, but we really couldn't tell if it had one in its mouth. So we quickly put all the chooks back into the yard. I'd said a few weeks ago that I had noticed that there was a lot more around up in the bush, but now that it's drying out and the grass is getting higher, they are able to venture further away from their dens, and that's not really good for the chooks. So we're going to have to keep a really close eye on them, make sure that the strobe light that we have in the yard is 100% working all the time, that their solar door is closing and locking at night, and checking in on them to make sure that everything is good before we go to bed. And also just keeping an ear out for Nassie's barking too. You can really tell when there is a predator close by. His bark changes. There is an urgency in it. You can really hear it. And so with all of those things combined together, we can hopefully keep the chickens safe and avoid any further incidences with foxes. So out in the paddocks, the cows have been able to keep the grass fairly low and it's not super dry yet. So we were able to do a little bit of burning off just recently. We've been collecting piles in each of the paddocks. Over winter, trees have come down, branches have broken off, and rather than bringing them back to a central spot to get rid of, we have been making a pile in each paddock with the plan that we would then burn that pile to get rid of everything all in one go. So we've done that in one of the smaller paddocks. There's still quite a few piles that we probably need to look at, but it is starting to dry out now, and we're thinking that the restrictions for lighting fires will come into place fairly shortly, considering how long the grass is and how quickly it's drying out. My summer veggie patch is coming along exceedingly well. The tomato plants have probably doubled in size already, and the zucchinis have amazing flowers on them. So I'm really excited to have them turn into the actual zucchini. And there are already a few little tiny tomatoes starting to form as well. So hopefully we'll have quite a good harvest out of all of those. I've been quite wary about how much water I give them. After a couple of those really hot days, I did spend some time watering them just as they were settling in, but I don't want to over water them because I don't want them to be relying on it all the time, and they kind of need to stand up to the conditions that we have here. So it's just about being mindful and watching them and just making sure that on those really hot days they get a little bit of water in the evening so that they have a chance to recover. As I said last week, I've been fairly busy, so I haven't been spending as much time here in the shed as I normally would. And as with any space that doesn't get used all the time, it gathers dust and cobwebs and all of that kind of thing. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a cleanup. So I started yesterday and I cleaned the windows, inside windows. I need to give the floor a vacuum. I need to get rid of some cobwebs from around some of the corners and wipe down and dust all of my bench space. And then my plan is to put up my Christmas decorations here in the shed. It'll be nice to have a bit of a festive vibe down here in the shed, get out all of my treasured Christmas decorations and set it up for the festive season. Another week of not a lot of craft, but I have re-knit up the star decoration. Here it is in sock yarn. And I'm also going to knit up a version in an 8-ply as well. Now I've written up the pattern, I've changed the edging so that it lays a little bit flatter. What I need to do with this one is spray it with starch and then use a hairdryer to dry the starch, and then it'll be ready to hang on the tree once I've woven in the ends. So I thought I would do it in the 2 sizes so that it could be used on different size trees, maybe as a garland across instead of tinsel. So what I'm going to do is measure the width and the height of each of the stars in the different weights of yarn, and that will be in the pattern. So then you can choose which size would suit you best to use for your own Christmas decorations. So the pattern will be free and it will be available on my website, and I will put the link below. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.